Good morning out there, truck drivers. Listen, in the South in the last few days, we've had some high winds and some high tornadoes. It's been coming through and they've been knocking tractor trailers down from Alabama to Tennessee to Georgia, Kentucky, everywhere. It's been rough. And usually we think of high winds, we think of it out there in Wyoming and places like that. But either way, you need to know how to drive these winds and how to prepare for it. So stick to this end of this video and I'm going to give you 6 tips on how to drive in high winds. But first, let me show you a story that I just read, an article about a truck driver who flipped over in Kentucky yesterday, and he was a safe driver, been driving for 20 years, and it was out of his control, he said. Watch this video and let me know what you think.
For these semi-drivers as their trucks were blown on their sides Friday.
And this is the first incident I've ever had in my life.
Eric Hahn has been driving trucks for over 20 years. He hopes the moment he toppled over is a fear he'll never feel again.
I was on the ramp. I'm less than 6 miles from the house. And all of a sudden, a gust of wind came, picked our tractor up and my trailer, and threw everything that I had in there on top of my body. Like I said, I'm lucky to be alive right now.
Eric's semi flipped on the exit ramp to exit 69 eastbound on I-64 in Georgetown. Just about 4 miles down the interstate, several semis on their sides near the Scott-Fayette County line. Trailers mangled and loads dumped all over. Traffic backed up for miles.
Just didn't see it coming because all the bad wind had subsided from Elizabethtown, and it just had slowed down, and I was in the best case scenario. I'm home.
For Eric, it's a lesson he will never forget and hopes other drivers take caution when driving through strong, gusty winds.
Hey guys, don't blink. All it takes is 1 second, that's it. You know, like I said, I'm a very careful driver, but this case scenario, it wasn't anything and it was in my control.
Thankful to be going home relatively unharmed.
I'm gonna be okay through the grace of God.
In Scott County, Chad Hedrick, WKYT.
So that was a crazy incident with that guy driving. Like he said, he'd been driving for 20 years. He did not expect that wind thing to happen. But there's a lot of things that can happen, drivers. So that'd be a lesson. You know, a lot of times we think about dangerous driving. We think about snow. We think about the ice. We think about windy mountain roads. And we forget about high winds. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because it's something that we all forget about, including myself. But high winds is just as dangerous as snow, wind, and ice. A few things to remember: that the heavier the truck is, the better. So the wind, it's harder for a wind to knock off a 60,000 pound truck versus an empty truck, which is 30,000, 35,000 pounds. It's harder to knock it over. So the heavier you are, the better. Another thing you want to think about is wind direction. What way is the winds going? Crosswinds are the most dangerous. Crosswinds can come across and can knock you over. If you're better off driving in the direction of winds. If you're driving head on, that's better, and then tailwinds is better than actually crosswinds. A lot of times we get crosswinds when we're going across I-80 in Wyoming. You'll see the big signs that says warning crosswinds, and you can actually feel them. I've been out there before, and they get really strong, and you can actually see the wind when it snows, because you see the snow just come across. So you see it right before you get to it. You actually see the wind, which is crazy. But those high cross winds, there's 6 tips I'm about to teach you that may help you and can also save your life, save your truck, whatever. So make sure you stick all the way to the end so you can listen to these 6 tips. All right, y'all ready? Number 1, check wind directions. Like I was just saying, you know, a lot of times we think of the rain, the sleet, the snow. We check the weather. Like we're on the Weather Channel checking. Let's say it's gonna be raining, it's gonna be storming. And you check the wind direction to see about that. Now out in Wyoming, in places like that, they'll have big signs on the road. It says, you know, watch out, winds are coming, crosswinds, whatever, be prepared. But when you're hearing strong winds, listen about tornadoes. Look for other signs. So make sure you're checking that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, once you know it's going to be a bad direction or winds are going to be bad, you just need to pick another route. Try to go around it. You know, try to stay away. You know, if you got those crosswinds that are coming, maybe you should go around the mountain instead of over the mountain. It all depends on the situation. So make sure you're checking your weather. And if it's bad, make sure you take another route. Number 3 is drive slowly. Drive like you're driving in ice, rain. Drive slowly. There's a myth. Oh, I'm going to outrun the wind. That is a myth. That's a lie. It's a lie from hell. You can't outrun the wind, so don't try to do that. That is definitely is the legend, myth, whatever you want to call it. Do not try to outrun the wind. You know, driving faster is just treacherous. You don't want to drive faster. Never do that. Like I said, take it like you're driving in the snow and the wind. Just drive slowly, keep it smooth, like I say in my other videos. Also keep on your flashers, let other drivers know that, you're taking caution, you're gonna be driving a lot slower. All right, let's go with number 4. Keep a tight grip on the steering wheel. You want to make sure you got a tight grip so you're holding on, so that when that wind comes, you can kind of counteract. If you got your foot up on the dash and you're scratching your ass, and, you know what I'm saying? You can't be driving like that. Keep both hands on the steering wheel. Hold on to it tight. And I'm not saying that you got to do it all the time with both hands tight on the wheel, but just keep a good firm grip. I mean, you don't want to grip all the time. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I try to keep both hands on the steering wheel, but I mean, I'll be gripping it really hard, but strong winds, grip it like you mean it. Hold on to that. Hold on to it as much as you can. That way you can control it better. Number 5, drive closer to the shoulder. Try to not stay in the lane. Try to stay as far as you can over to the right or to the left. Either way, but stay. You don't want to be in like the middle lane. Excuse me. The reason why is if you tip over, you would rather tip over on the side of the road than onto another driver, onto another truck. That's going to mangle you up. It's going to cause, it's going to hurt a lot more. Now, of course, you don't want to be on the edge of a mountain. But you know what I'm getting at. Try to stay closer to the shoulder. All right, number 6, know when to go and know when to say no. It's very important. If it's time to pull over and you feel like you can't drive, pull over. It doesn't matter what that dispatcher says. It matters what you're the captain of your ship. If you think it's too bad and the winds are knocking you around, then just pull over. Another tip, it's not really a tip, but cruise control is bad too. I didn't put that in there, but don't use cruise control in high winds. I just thought about that. That is something else that you shouldn't do. That way you can control the speed a little better. Listen to your CB. Please have a CB radio. Drivers are going by, they're going to be telling you, hey, listen, when you go over the mountain, there's some high winds, another truck just got flipped over. Especially if you ever see another truck laid over on the side, maybe it's time to pull over. Think about that. Keep a CB in your truck. Talk to other experienced drivers if you don't know. They will help you and they will guide you. You got some dumb super truckers out there that's going to keep going. I've luckily never been blown over, but just like the guy in the video that you just watched, he's been driving for 20 years. He was almost home. He thought he could make it. You got to be prepared, driver. Now listen, I make these videos not to scare you. I don't believe it'll come from a spirit of fear. The Bible says that God will not give you a spirit of fear, but He'll give you a spirit of freedom and liberty and help you to overcome. I want you to be prepared. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Subscribe to my channel. Watch my videos. I try to give you tips. If there's something you don't know, send me a question and I'll try to answer it. If I can't answer it, I'll ask somebody else. If you got any value from this, hit that like button. Share it everywhere you can. It's Trucking Life with Shawn. I appreciate you joining. Let's get it.